In this video, we're going to cover spatial relationships. Spatial relationships relate items inside of one category to items inside of another category based on their spatial position. So, for example, inside of furniture, we can relate each piece of furniture to a specific room, area, or space. Vice versa, every single room can have a relationship with pieces of furniture inside of that room. So we're going to look at furniture as an example here. So I'm looking at my furniture category in my section 2 starter project. And you can see here I have all of my furniture. And if I click on one of these items, it's going to open up that item's detail. It's going to show me right where it's at in the model. And I can see all the other model details that I've collected here, including the phase it was created in, the level it's on, etc. We're going to create a relationship field, though, to room. And I'm going to do this by clicking on Edit Fields. And we're going to create a new field. And you'll see that underneath Relationships, I have this button called Relationship. This will allow me to create a new relationship field. And we'll call this Related Room. Now, in previous videos, we went through the manual relationship type and the automatic relationship type. Today, this video, we're going to talk about the spatial relationship. So when I choose spatial relationship, it's going to allow me to select a model category, and that's important because I can only create spatial relationships with other model categories that are in the same Revit model. So I'm going to choose rooms. And I can define some additional criteria for this piece of furniture. I could filter this down by a room whose type is of a certain type or family is of a certain type. I'm not going to define additional criteria right now. Down below here, this is where I can show some additional details about the room. I'm not going to add any fields right now. We're just going to worry about relating to the actual room. So I'll create the field. And I'm going to close out of this. And you can see that now I know that this desk is related to admin 126. If I click on admin 126, it's going to take me to that room. And you can see we kind of have our breadcrumbs up top here that are showing me what my journey looks like. So I'm coming from the L desk into admin 126, and I can see that this is my room. Now inside the room, I can create a spatial relationship field in the same way to show me furniture that are inside of this room. So I'll click Create Field. We'll go to the Relationship field. And I'll call this Related Furniture. Again, we'll choose the Spatial Relationship category. You can see that I have other categories for selection, including furniture. I can define some additional criteria, filtering criteria if I want. And then I can create this field. Let's show the phase it's created in and the level it's on. Okay, so I've created a spatial relationship field. And if I click on one of these, you can see I'll scroll to one that has some furniture in it. There we go. You can see that here are my chairs. I've got 21 of them. Here, 21 items total. So some of them are chairs, a computer, a table. And you can see that they're tied directly now to this room. Okay, and inside of our rooms category, I can click here to show that field. And you can see that it's going to show me any relationships that any of these rooms have. So I can check out exactly what items exist in every single room. Now I can do the same for other model categories as well. So for example, we could come over to doors. I could click on a door and I'm going to create a new relationship field. We'll call this spatial. We'll choose rooms and hit create field. So what you'll notice is that there's actually two rooms related to this. And that is because for doors and interior windows and other categories like that, there are two rooms associated with this item. So here we have corridor 328 and electrical 323. If I click on any of these rooms, it's going to take me to that room instance, show me where it's at. And I could also create another field called related doors. And we would just change the category to doors and hit save. And you can see that now it's going to show me all the doors that are tied in to this room. Once these relationships are defined, in the same way that we can pull out additional details about these relationships in manual and automatic relationships, we can do the same thing with spatial relationships. So let's say, for example, I'm in all of my rooms and I'm looking at my related furniture here. Let's say I wanted to show some additional details about that furniture. I can create a new field, and you'll see that the relationships that exist are shown here under relationships. And I can go into the related furniture and I can choose from these field types to show certain information about it. Now, if you remember, we already created in a previous lesson, we created a link to each piece of furniture to a product in my product category. So what's nice about this is I can dig as deep as I need to reference nested data. So let's say, for example, for every single furniture instance, I wanted to go into the product that it's related to and show the cut sheet. I can create that field. And now you can see what's happening is it's actually pulling out the cut sheet from every single one of the products that's related to every single one of these room instances that's related to this room. There's no limit on how deep you can go to in these relationships. And so now I can see specifically the cut sheet for each and every one of these relationships. If I click on one of these items, you can see if I scroll to the bottom, I've got my actual furniture here and the cut sheets from those furniture items or those products as well.